on today's episode of The Game Chasers.
I guess I don't have nuts.
And I need games.
Yeah, I got some.
How often do you run across one of these, right?
We mean no harm.
But wait, there's more. It's Saturday morning. That means it's flea market time. But before we go anywhere, we need to go pick up a cameraman.
I mean, we're pretty much just desperate for cameramen today.
Dude, I totally look like a fucking redneck right now.
We're gonna go to a flea market, and I'm gonna find all the games. That's what's gonna happen.
How come there's not games on these shelves here?
I haven't had time because I want to clean the rest of it before I put it in the house. It's gonna go in that other bedroom.
Do I need to take it back?
Mm-mm.
You sure?
Yeah, you can't take it back with mine.
I mean,
That's even Stevens.
technically this one was Billy's. Billy has mine in his room. Actually.
How the deal worked out? Yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of the shit off there, and that's my pegboard that I put in there that Billy didn't fucking.
Don't power wash that.
No, you think? I'm trying to preserve it in its natural state. I got the shittiest one.
Chris is going to take us to this flea market. Now, we've been here before, but it's been a few years.
You pass a lot of gas also. You gonna jack around or we gonna go find some games?
Chris claims this is his spot. We've been to this flea market before. There's a lot of craft stuff, a lot of like homemade folk art kind of stuff, which is not a bad thing. It's just not an our thing.
I just think that we're going to find knickknacks and saddles, which is right up Chris's alley. But in terms of video games, probably not.
When I found my haul last time, the guy didn't even have it out on the table. It was in like a tub underneath the table. I had to ask. He didn't have it even.
Well, I think I got this Nintendo.
Look in here. I have.
So as I'm walking, I hear Chris ask one of the vendors, hey, do you have video games? And then I heard, can we take a look?
Gotta ask, right? If you don't ask, you don't find.
Okay, so we go to this dude's booth. He says he has some stuff. He starts digging around in the back. Digging around in the back is always a good thing because it's stuff that was not put out, which means, well, obviously there's video games.
If I see a seller at a flea market digging for something, yeah, I get excited because I don't. Who knows what he's gonna produce? Like seriously, like it could be like a little Samson, a Flintstone, and a stadium event. Yep, this is what I have.
Yeah, I got some.
So he pulls out games. They look like they're common Atari games, but they're games nonetheless. So that's a good thing.
Give me ice cream with whipped cream.
Good shape. Yeah.
Let me get out here. Sorry.
I'm getting claustrophobic.
So everything in this lot is pretty much commons, but there might be one or two things in here I need.
Aren't you looking for these though?
I am. I think I need that robot tank.
Robot Tink. This is actually a pretty ambitious game on the 2600. It's first-person perspective. You're in a tank, and just the graphics kind of does have this 3D look, which is hard to pull off on the Atari, I would imagine. I'm not a programmer, but it just seems like it would be, because you didn't see a lot of those types of games on the system.
I think I need that remote control too.
One game here that I actually need is Spider Fighter. The point of the game is to protect your fruit orchid, basically. Oranges, strawberries, things of that nature, from invading. Well, I guess they're supposed to be spiders.
Spider! Yeah!
You're at the bottom, you can move left and right, you shoot, and enemies are coming down trying to shoot you, and they pluck the fruit off of the tree. One thing that's really interesting about this game is, when it was released, if you took a picture of your score that was 40,000 points or higher, you could actually get a Activision Spider Fighter patch.
I think I need a few of these.
Spider Fighter?
Yeah.
I personally don't collect Atari. It's not that I don't like Atari. for the space that I have, I'm gonna reserve that for NES and Super Nintendo and 64 games.
How about $40?
40.
That too much?
That's way too much.
Okay.
Well, they're very common, that's why.
So there's about 10 games here. He wants $40 for the lot. Sorry, they're Atari games. I know that's only $4 a game, but we need to be at like $2 a game, honestly.
You said we weren't gonna find anything. I found something. Might not be the best.
I'm just saying, these are $2 games and we trading companies, all I'm saying. This guy's not budging on the 40. Unfortunately, it's not worth us buying this lot just for a few games that we need.
I'm pretty sure I have every one of them. One other thing that's caught my eye here is a board game, Planet of the Apes. I don't know what it is about these board games, but I'm drawn to them, especially when they're very obscure like this. What are you asking on that Planet of the Apes board game?
$10.
So he only wants $10 for the Planet of the Apes board game, which honestly, if I had $10, I might get. I might think on that for just $10. Can you put that back for me? But
Just tell him we'll come back.
yeah,
Just tell him we'll come back.
that's all right.
Billy loves Planet of the Apes. I don't know why he didn't get this. This definitely is one of those times where we just went stupid and we're like, I'll pass. And now, of course, reverse buyer's remorse where he wish he got it.
So we're moving along through this flea market and we come across this next booth that right off the bat I can see potential here.
One thing I do come across is this home computer called the Aquarius. It only came out with about 21 games, although it was cheaper than the TI-99 or the VIC-20. It just couldn't compete. The graphics couldn't compete with those, so it fell short. It only ran about 6 months.
That's far out of the box.
How much do these old
Aquarius. Hey, I got a question. What were you asking on the Aquarius? I've heard of this system before. I've never seen it, especially not at a flea market like this.
How about $20?
$20? What'd you take, half?
Does it work?
I have no idea.
How about 10 then, since we're assuming all risk?
I'll do 10.
$10?
Sure.
Why not? We'll buy it then.
Look, when you're buying something like this, you're taking all the risk. You don't know if it works or not. It'd be different if he had the thing hooked up to a television. He could be asking 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't know what it goes for.
Chris, you got $10?
So these f***s are going around buying all this shit, and then they're just like, look at me, like, wallet.
Every time. Hey, do we need to go stop by ATM? Yeah. Does anybody in here have money? I'm like in the back seat, like, no. And they're like, oh, we're going to the flea market on Chris's dime.
What the f?
The only Nintendo thing I got, that shooter back there.
Okay.
Zapper? Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
How much are you asking on that?
So Jay sees something with his stupid, idiotic, crap-colored eyes, and he zeroes in on it.
He starts rummaging off. I see this. I see this.
I kind of like that. I kind of don't. I like the fact that, hey, he sees something. Maybe there's something awesome down there. But then again, it's like, well, if there is, he found it, so it's his. So what do I care?
What?
I'm turning back and looking at the guy because the guy's standing there like, these motherfuckers.
But wait, there's more.
What is he gonna pull out of there? I don't like this. I hate it when he does this.
What?
Because he sees something.
He sees something.
And then he's gonna pull.
He pulls something out.
I might see something. Hang on a minute.
And he's gonna pull something out.
Do you need to move a deer head back?
No. Just hold that. Or move it, set it down somewhere or something.
Okay.
You don't mind if I dig, do you?
What you gonna get?
I see some board games down here I might be interested in.
Asking this guy if they could dig was like an afterthought.
I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, Star Wars.
So something really interesting I just ran across, this Battle of Hoth board game. Everything had a board game. Well, Star Wars was no exception to the rule. If anything was going to have a board game, it definitely would have been Star Wars. There was Star Wars everything back in the day.
Not in the best condition, but how often do you run across one of these, right? So
Little Millennium Falcons. That's pretty awesome.
What are you asking on these things here? Like these two. I also happened to see a Star Wars Given Show. Essentially what this thing is a toy projector. It's battery operated. It shines a light onto the wall. You put the film in there and you see the image on the wall.
I don't know if there's any. It's there, but I don't know if any of the slides are in there. I don't think it has any. It's missing all the slides.
It could be in those little.
Yeah, there they are.
All the slides seem to be there, and the projector itself is in actually really good condition. The box is a little torn up, but it doesn't matter.
It like plays out like a comic book, I guess.
This is extremely cool. And the fact that the slides are seemingly in really good shape.
The artwork in the slides is pretty awesome.
Obviously a must-have for us. Or one of us.
This thing was basically sitting back here collecting dust and rotting away, so I'm very happy to potentially... Did you just fart? Was that a fart?
Yes.
You said 30. How about 20, considering we've already given you 20?
Star Wars, it costs money.
I mean, but it's just that. I gotta be honest, I don't think that's horrible.
Meet you in the middle, 25.
25? One of those things where you meet in the middle. He wanted 30, I wanted 20, we agreed on 25. I was $45.
Yeah. There's that 10 back to you.
So nothing much here left at the flea market. It's the big flea market and there was barely anything here, but we got the Aquarius and we got the board games and we saw some Atari games.
It was sunny, but it was still chilly. I mean, there was people there, but it's just, it's not the season to go flea marketing.
You have been listening and learning.
So this is actually about an hour and a half drive for me and Billy. Not much here. We don't really have a whole lot of time to go anywhere else. So Chris is like, you know what? Screw that. Screw game chasing. Let's go ride the dirt bike.
They took every last fucking dime I had at that fucking flea market to buy their shit. So, hey, let's go back and thrash Chris's dirt bike. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today.
People ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes and shit out here all the time, so it shouldn't be a thing.
I think that's an amazing idea.
We're gonna play Excite Bike in real life.
Hey.
I'm stoked. I have a motorcycle license, but I've never ridden a dirt bike on a field like this and tried to jump things. So I'm excited.
12-year-old boys Sandlot style on our bicycles, banana seats, see who could launch the bike the furthest, because you know, two guys that have never ridden a dirt bike, that's what you want to do. You want to have a big air contest. So that's what we're gonna fucking do.
I'm gonna be making some sweet jumps.
Give it a go.
I've never ridden a dirt bike. I have rode motorcycles. This is a motorcycle.
I feel like it's squishing my fat cheeks together.
It is. You got cheek roll. I got cheek roll?
You know, when you go to a rodeo and you watch, you know, people ride bulls, guys ride bulls, you kind of cheer for the bull to fuck them up a little bit, you know? And that's kind of what I'm thinking Billy and Jay, what's gonna happen to Billy and Jay. They're gonna get out there and their egos are gonna start flaring up and somebody's gonna eat.
I think I got some pretty decent air, at least it felt like it. Maybe I didn't.
His front tire like up off the hill and the back tire, he never caught any air. And he's like, was that good? How high did I go? Go, give it gas, give it gas.
Oh, here he goes. No, let on.
My goal out here with this dirt bike is to have fun. I'm not trying to outdo anybody.
The only reason he's saying it's not a competition is that he doesn't think he's doing that well in his own mind. Absolutely, that's what it is. But deep down inside, he wants to just wipe the floor with us. Of course he does.
Did I get air that time at least?
I'm not going to freaking burn 40, 50 miles an hour and jump this thing and freaking crash and annihilate myself, which is what I think these two morons were wanting me to do. Smarter than that.
Stay in it. Oh, he's mad now. He's all like, I don't want to do this.
Stupid, you're dumb. Dumb!
I know he's just like, I've got to get some air. I got to get some air. So he's coming up to this hill the fastest I've seen him yet.
Okay, he's got more speed than he's had.
Oh, shit.
He completely loses his feet off the pegs, over the handlebars, and I'm thinking he's gonna crash. And then somehow at the last minute, somehow lands back on the fucking pegs.
Over 20 years experience, 2 minutes of experience. What do you expect? That'd be like we put in any video game and I completely demolish you and then laugh at you for it.
You're at the top of your RPM range, you weren't in a high enough gear, and you're on the gas tank. So both those combined make you go boom!
Well, that's exactly what happened.
I know.
But did it look like Excite Bike?
You're like...
I'm laughing my ass off at Jay and Billy both because they're taking this pretty seriously.
Won't probably beat it, or will I?
Don't kill yourself.
Don't kill myself?
The key to this bike, we're so big, don't be anywhere near the front end. If you go over the top and you're going fast, the bike's gonna go this, bang, and there you're not gonna, when the back end of the bike starts going up and you hear me, wah, it's to bring the bike back down. If you need to be towards the back of the seat.
Duly noted.
He's his own man, I didn't force him into this. Hope you got life insurance policy on him.
F this. I'm going up this hill fast. I'm gonna hit the next gear, and then I'm gonna hit that hill. Fast.
Hey, you know, one of my other buddies that was out here was on a bike like that and broke his femur in this field. Around. It's nothing crazy in this field.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I don't wanna bite it. I don't wanna break a leg, but I'll be damned if I'm not gonna actually, put my best foot forward here and give it my best effort. So let's go.
How fast is he really gonna get going, honestly?
I don't know, but I'm scared.
Billy's hauling ass. Billy's got some speed behind him, and I start getting this bad pit in my feeling like, oh, he's gonna fucking die. He's gonna wad up and he's gonna fuck himself up pretty good on this.
Holy fuck!
Perfect form. You see how your body just naturally extended in the air to keep up? It was magnificent.
Hey, you may not have been the highest jump in the world here, but for me, no experience. I'm happy with it. I think I did pretty damn good.
Bad fucking ass.
A lot of fun, actually. Makes me want to go get a dirt bike.
Yeah, I think we should just get motorcycles and ride motorcycles everywhere from now on. I like that idea.
It is what it is. Nobody got hurt, nobody crashed, so everybody went home at the end of the day.
Yeah, that last jump I was like, no. Jay almost went splat.
The next part of our excursion brings us to San Antonio, Texas. We're going to open air flea market here in San Antonio. This flea market has been on the show a couple of times, actually.
This vendor has a box of handheld stuff. One of the games that's sticking out to me that I don't have and I would really like to have is Little Mermaid on the Game Gear. I don't know what it is about Little Mermaid games, but I love them. My favorite being the NES Little Mermaid, which you can beat in like 20 minutes.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything?
The games, this is $10. This is $7.
Okay.
No.
This dude wants $10 for Little Mermaid, so Little Mermaid stays there with him.
Hear it? I heard over a walkie-talkie camera.
I hear a walkie-talkie. That's always a red flag.
Sure enough, somebody comes walking up and tells us we cannot film here.
Of course we're getting kicked out. Why would we not get kicked out?
Are there other people doing this? Is that what's going on here? Are a lot of people just walking around flea markets with cameras now? And is it because of us? Stop. Because we're getting kicked out. We're getting told to stop filming. If we can't film, we have no show, so quit. It's time to start heading back home. We're 5 hours away. We're so desperate for video games at this point. Billy makes a tweet and says, yo, anybody from San Antonio to DFW, if you have video games, want to come let us rummage through your let us know.
And I got a response.
So Billy gets a response to his tweet. This dude goes by the name of 7th Level. He says, hey, I'm on the way. Come on by. Check out what I got.
So we are here at 7th's, and some dumbass, whoever had the camera last at the flea market this afternoon, left it on. The batteries are all dead.
This camera has 1,000 buttons on it. It's like the Millennium Falcon. I legit don't even know how to turn it on.
But luckily, we have a Wood with us, and he brought his camera.
Fortunately, I actually bought my camera because I was gonna film something the weekend. I didn't.
Well, being a fan of the show, I know that Billy and Jay's been having a lot of problems with flea markets lately. And I knew they were gonna have to be driving all the way back to Dallas-Fort Worth and that I was on the way. So I thought, I'd just throw my name in the hat and see if they wanted to stop by and see what I had.
Me and Billy both have met 7th Level before. He's actually a really nice dude. I don't know that 7th Level is necessarily trying to sell, wants to sell. I don't know. He was like, yo, I got some games. Come take a look and see what you guys want.
I see 2 tubs there full of games, and I'm like, okay, this is his stuff that he's selling. This is the stuff that he's getting rid of, doubles or whatnot. Not so much. You saw my Twitter post about we couldn't find any video games. So what exactly are you like? What's up for grabs? Stuff in the tubs?
No, just look and see if I got anything you don't have.
That's your collection, though. We don't want to.
I know. I wouldn't have asked you here if otherwise.
I'm expecting, a box of doubles or something.
The stuff in the tubs are just apparently the stuff that he has not organized yet. It's his collection. He's here to sell just whatever. On the one hand, I'm like, look, I don't want to take your personal stuff here. This is your collection. On the other hand, it's like maybe he needs the money, and I need games. If there's something like you got,
I'm too poor for doubles, bro.
I mean, none of this stuff is like your childhood stuff, though, right?
No.
Okay.
That would be thanks to my ex-wife. Back in 2004, I was in Miami doing an install. She held a yard sale and sold everything I had except my PS2 stuff.
Is that why she's ex?
Well, it didn't help. She was never into gaming. She didn't really have any hobbies except for being up my ass 24 hours a day.
So let's rummage through his stuff.
You don't have that?
I don't have this, and I think I might have to have it.
And you know that,
Is it good?
you know
It really is.
The game store that y'all went to with the,
Do you not know?
All Right
No,
guy?
I didn't even know it existed. One of the first games that's grabbed my attention here is a McDonald's game. McDonald's Treasure Island Adventure. If it's anything like the McDonald's game, I'm not talking about McKids, I'm talking about the Famicom McDonald's game that came out on the Famicom, then it's, oh God, it's gonna be horrible. But I don't think it is. It doesn't look anything like it on the back of the box. I mean, if it's up for grabs, yeah, I might be interested.
It's up for grabs.
All right, oh yeah.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said there's so many semi-common games that I don't have yet.
Are those the ones you're pulling as you don't have?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely seeing some NES games that I need here. Most of them commons. Yes, I still need a few commons because I'm one of those guys. I'll find it for $2 somewhere else. Maybe, hopefully, this will be my chance to find those commons for $2 somewhere else.
So
I'm actually surprised that it's that
you don't
many.
have Project Doom or Fury Fighter or Boulder Dash or
No, I don't. Those aren't super rare games.
So Jay's picking out a few games here that, like, I'm thinking to myself, how do you not have this? You have this many NES games, how do you not have this? So many common ones. One of them being Vice Project Doom. I absolutely love this game, and I love it because it's variations in the stages, and it's just, I think it's one of those games that not a lot of people talk about, and it's kind of flown under the radar, but I would rent it as a kid, well, at least once.
Holding on to Christmas?
No, I'm just a lazy fat.
Please tell me you got that on camera.
One game I'm seeing here that I need is Conflict. Conflict is a hex-based NES war game. Essentially, imagine a grid with hexagons all over it. And you got your troops, you got your tanks, you got your planes, stuff like that are allowed to move certain number of spaces, okay? What you do is you move these, and if you can land on one of the enemy forces, then you guys go into battle. Think something like maybe Risk or Axis and Allies, the board game Axis and Allies, actually. tap right here, make sure that I'm not buying stuff I already have.
You got some of the
Just being here taking stuff off his shelf. I thought we were gonna be going through like doubles or something. Look, you know how many times we've tried to go to the flea market and either gotten kicked out or have not found anything? Months. It's nice to actually just kind of relax at somebody's place in their game room. Just kind of see if there's anything that we need and not have to worry about security or paying $10 for Little Mermaid on the Game Gear.
I do not find this strange one bit. Here's the deal. Most Fridays, I go garage selling and estate selling. I go to estate sales. And I walk into people's houses and rummage through their shit all the time.
I got the box for G.I. Joe, but I don't have the game.
No nuts, get the game.
I mean, you know, see what,
You say no nuts, do something, and then they start off with, well, you know, they have no nuts.
Is that true? Do you have no nuts?
Sorry, I'm having to walk around the tree.
No, it's okay.
I guess I don't have nuts.
Another game I'm seeing here is Castelli. Again, one of those games not super rare, not super common, but I need this. Just a game that I've seen once or twice in a store and just always pass it up. Castelli is a game where you're Julius. The goal is to climb to the top of 8 different towers and detonate bombs when you get to the top.
Pandora's Tower, I've wanted for a long time. This is actually a cheapie, but it's a childhood memory.
I'm also seeing a bunch of PSP stuff. I'm a huge Vita collector, but I never really got into PSP. The Luna games are something I've been looking to complete. I have them on PlayStation 1, and Death Jr. is actually a hidden gem for the PSP that I've been looking for years now.
Papa Roach sucks. Nickelback's better than Papa Roach.
I just need the box for this. Just sell me the box.
Yeah, if you don't need the game, I'll sell you the box. That's fine.
I've been literally looking for this box for like years, and stupid ass Scott, caught me slipping on it. At Too Many Games, and it's been pissing me off ever since. Freaking Scott, back at Too Many Games a few years ago, found it right underneath my nose for $10, and I've been bitter and angry at him ever since then.
Scott, I'll hook him up.
You hear that, Scott?
Hey, which Scott? Stupid Scott?
Stupid Scott. Stupid Scott.
What you got there, buddy?
A little game I like to call Arrow Flash. I really love shooters. The Sega Genesis, I don't know if it was known for its shooters. I don't know if you could say that, but it definitely had a lot more shooters, a lot more than Super Nintendo. I guess it's because it had blast processing.
I mean,
maybe if we stretch your colon.
Oh, okay.
Go silent real quick.
Gotta be honest. Didn't feel good.
You know, he had like the Mega Man's, Gargoyle's Quest, you know, things like that. Those are pretty rare, pretty expensive games, but I don't need them, and I'm not going to take them off someone's shelf just because they say go ahead. I don't need the games.
Okay, why don't we pull everything so we have a good idea of what we're looking at, yeah?
This ain't the first time we've done this. This ain't the first time we've bought games off someone's game shelf. We've done it before. We did it in Canada.
Is it impossible for us to go anywhere and not be like just the stingiest posing around?
Stingy? This is light compared to when he just said, hey,
I mean,
everything, right?
I should just back the car in.
You have the feeling somebody's gonna be generous to you. You kind of have to like not take advantage of that, and I think that we've done a pretty good job here of just getting a few things here and there, and not just going overly crazy with it.
All right, so talk to us. Where are we at?
Oh, where do you think you are?
I mean, how many games there? About 13.
Well, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
What do you think that pile's worth? Remember, he don't do retro stuff, so he don't.
Good, that's what I'm counting on.
He don't know shit from China.
I don't know.
The way he's acting, I know that he's just gonna give this stuff to us for dirt cheap.
Just throw in.
You'll make sure that all of them are actually in there, right?
You want to keep this one?
Mm-hmm. And I guess
make sure they're all in there.
Go ahead and do Eternal Darkness as well, because I
Do you not have that?
I have it.
That's probably the rarest GameCube game I've got.
Okay, well, give it back. I don't want it then.
Well,
No,
do you
no,
have
well,
it?
hey.
I have it. I have it.
It's
PAL.
negotiating time. Don't
Give
put
it
anything
PAL.
back just yet.
Yeah, give him a minute.
You know, I'm rolling it over.
This is an amazing game, and I'm sure a lot of us already know about it, but it was one of the more mature games for GameCube, one of the more scary, thrilling type games that really tried to mess with you in a lot of ways. I need this. I still need another copy so I can play it.
I'm looking at Eternal Darkness because I have it actually in my house right now, but I have the PAL version, and my GameCube, when I plug it in that I brought with me from Australia, plays in black and white.
I really get the feeling that 7th here is going to be very extremely generous with his pricing.
I first started watching you guys because y'all remind me of the guys that I grew up playing games with when I was in high school. And y'all were nice enough to stop by on your way home, and that's a pretty long drive from San Antonio. So I don't want to put y'all out. How about a big old price of nothing?
No, dude, we gotta give you something for this stuff.
It just doesn't sit right with either of us. We have to give him something for it.
Come in here and raid your freaking game shelf and walk out of here like a bandit in the night, like the Grinch who stole Christmas and shit. We can't do that. We would feel horrible about doing something like that.
It was like someone said, you know that maybe pile? Just take it all.
Like we're taking out of your personal
Y'all give me free shit all the
collection.
time. Every time I go. Free t-shirts, free cups, free things.
$50?
I don't even want to take that.
$50.
You're gonna force me to?
Yes.
All right, $50.
Dude, thank you. You're awesome, man.
No problem.
Seventh is basically like, look, I don't want anything, but you're not gonna let me not take anything, are you? So fine, I'll take that $50.
Well, if they're forcing me to take $50 for this, I was just gonna give it to them. And it's just because they've been so giving since I came here. You know, y'all aren't the only ones that get good deals, you know.
Yeah,
I pre-ordered Pure
Thank
Solar.
you. Thank you. But I guess, an agreement is an agreement.
As I said, I was pulling out a maybe pile.
As soon as I said $50 and he took it, I'm thinking to myself, I probably should have said 100. I think I'll PayPal him 50, and then Wood will actually end up PayPaling him 50 as well.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Not a problem.
I'll PayPal the money when I get.
That's fine. That's fine.
In fact, I owe you 50 anyway. I can just give it to him.
This was amazing. I can't say thank you enough.
Well, it goes without saying that what you see on an episode is how these chodes are in real life. They bicker, they argue, they rip on Eric because he's not here to defend himself, and then they fart all over the place, take my soda, and ask to use my bathroom.
All right, I owe you a Sony Trinitron. I'll find you one.
Yeah, cool.
It's the way game chasing go, right?
Now, look, we had a bad day at the flea market. We weren't kicked out, but we were told to stop filming yet again, and that's becoming par for the course, and it's pretty annoying. And
Hey, look, when you got a show about recording yourself looking for video games, telling you to stop recording is essentially the equivalent of getting kicked out. So.
You ain't wrong.
I don't really have any particular emotional attachment to any of this stuff. This is all repurchase. My collection used to be twice this size, and then my ex-wife stole everything I had except my PS2 shit back in 2004. So I didn't have a problem with these chodes taking any of mine.
We were just so desperate for games, and we were like, you know what, stab in the dark.
I mean, he was cool.
Wait, what?
I want you to put my socks in your mouth, but they have to be like this. All nasty looking and like not like this. Like this. Why the f would you do that?
I ended up PayPaling him $50, and I told Wood, hey, PayPal Seventh $50, and he went and did it. And then he came to me and was like, hey, did you know you sent him $50 too? I'm like, yeah. So at the end of the day, he ended up getting $100 for it all, which is still cheaper than what all that stuff would go for. So we didn't get it for free, but still got it for a bro deal.
So I actually owed Billy some money for the weekend. So I was gonna pay Seventh with that. I said, hey Billy, I'll just give the 50 to Seventh, we'll call it even. Billy messages me a couple days later, here's the email, I pay him. He messages me back and says, Billy already paid. So then I message Billy and I'm like, what's going on? And he said, well, I wanted to send him double. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm more than happy to do that since I got so much stuff. Seventh sent it back to me, and you don't know that yet. Wow. He sent it back and he refused to take it because Billy already paid the 50. And I said, I told him it was fine. He's a nice guy. I don't know what to say. That's not the end of the story. I owe him something. I owe him, maybe next time I see him at Retropalooza, I'll buy him a game or something.